Button.
So I kind of did a. Oh, hold on a minute. Did
Turned off. Now. Battery sufficient charge.
I kind of did um a behind the scenes video before, but I really wanted to. I've had questions from last of my two videos. I want a big shout out to new subscribers. Corey J. Is he the Corey J that did like those really cool underground videos on YouTube? And he's been trying to speak to me on Facebook. Because he's saying about like he apparently have underground way of thinking. Well, I just want to start. I don't usually do shout outs in these videos, but big shout to you, Corey J, my friend. If you're listening, we'll do the live chat, my friend, and obviously we're just going to chat to people in this video, and it's going to be a strange video. It's going to be more like cyber clans, an imaginary website, also an app which we're creating. And we're going to talk through every single project that I'm working on, including some projects that aren't MindMob ones, and hence why I am dabbling with programming. Of course, I am a DJ as well. So DJing, we can talk about anything, but obviously, I want to get onto you guys. There's a guy, obviously, who jumped in the video as well on my last video and said, thanks. He said that I went off the rails a bit. Well, I do. I don't really, when they're live, I don't really script them at all. It's like, I put a title that's going to be what the video is going to be about, which is, but then again, and a lot of people are asking me the same question about getting rich quick, which I'm trying to upload that episode as we're talking now. So, but I want to make something real clear. YouTube is like CyberClans with its chat features and messaging features. Some of you seen. YouTube has a real back end to it, which is like a real asshole, and YouTube really has a nice front end to it. Discuss in another video, of course. But I hate YouTube's algorithm. I hate the way it works. I really do. And I like to treat my channel the way it was. I don't use other channels. I don't set up channels. I think this channel has every single thing on it, known to man. Whatever I create, I put on this channel. So I still keep things Magic Silver Room related and MindMob related. But it's kind of somebody was saying, "Hey, dude, you've always talked about having the briefcase and everything. It's real cool." Actually, somebody said they went after watching those two videos. They set up a Facebook page. They did a Facebook Live, and they got 35 people. Now, what I do, I have an imaginary business. All my companies are imaginary, except for Magul Radio and Generation Nightclub. But everything else I do is imaginary, and I'm not saying that imaginary, real, whatever. But I want to say that my next NLP, my next Driving Your Own Vision episode is going to be kind of I want to discuss on how I nearly lost my imagination but got it back. And I'm going to discuss it in this video as well. As a lot of you who follow my channel now know that I haven't done autistic videos for a while. Haven't done the Imaginary Friends vlogs, which I want to carry on doing when I find a day to do them. Which is, I'm not timetabling a day to do them. But there was a time when I nearly lost I did lose my imagination. And I didn't want to close the door on it. I didn't want to be imagining a world had no imagination, because I wanted to keep the creation flowing. and imagination, or you feel like you're losing your imagination, it can feel like writer's block. My sister had a really bad time, but I'm not going to discuss that. How I kept my imagination going, I kept hold of my imaginary friends, and I kept hold of the storylines. And sometimes the storylines weren't really flowing. And I understand when people write for soaps. I understand that they're like the guys who do for Coronation Street. I've watched countless interviews with them where they say that they're not only are they losing their imagination, what can they do with those characters? So, I would hate to be. I mean, I wanted to write for soaps ages ago. I wanted to write for Coronation Street because I always had a storyline for some of the guys in the soaps. I wanted to do a story where the Platts turn evil, or one of the members in the Platts turns evil, and he goes and tries to kill his mum, and then that happened, and I kind of and then what was another storyline? I wanted to do where the rovers return, where someone's trying to blow up the rovers return and it's stopped. The thing with Coronation Street is, I love the way, like, it's not like EastEnders or any of the soap where the other soaps tend to have a bit of doom and gloom, or a bit too much drama, or a bit too much this. Whereas as Corrie kind of has to flow, it has to juggle three balls, if you will, and it has to keep the humour and it has to keep the drama. So when it's doing a doom and gloom story, excuse me, it has to keep all the other things in. All the other things in there. So, like Coronation Street writer, when I nearly lost my imagination, it was a really dark time. It was 2010, and I was going out with a girl at the time. Things just really were down spiraled, and I could have lost my imagination. There were 2 times when I lost it, but that was the time when I really did nearly lose it. So how I got it back was I just kept keeping everything in the frame, and there was a friend of the family who died. And there was things just creeping into the cracks, we say. I got myself kicked out of Dad's house, so it was a really bad time. 2010, 2011, and when I split with my girlfriend, you'd think, oh, the imagination comes back all of a sudden. Well, it did, but when it did, oh boy, was the things that I had to grab a hold of. First of all, my life was changing at that point because I had a lot of confidence, and then all the imagination came back, and boy, was it like an explosion that happened. So, really, you should keep. I mean, like, I nearly lost it. Every time I think, oh, I'm going to lose my imagination or something, I don't, because I always keep a grab hold of it, and it always keeps me going. And that's the way I learn about life. That's the way I learn about the environments around me, I guess. And so on and so forth. And to answer a lot of people's questions, when I was at a younger age, You know, I was told it's not normal to have imaginary friends when you grow old. It's not, you know, that was not the things that made me lose my imagination, because I grabbed hold of it. And I think it's good to hold something in. I know it's a bad thing for me to tell you guys on YouTube to hold stuff in, but at the time, my real dad, Happy Father's Day, if he's probably not watching, he's probably doing his photography and doesn't watch these videos. But my real dad, I think he had an issue with it. Now, he was working in the mental health. I'm not going to say where he was working, obviously, because. But anyway, he was working in the mental health industry, which doesn't really have an industry. But anyway, it is a sub thing. It is I don't know. I always call it an industry because, oh yeah, I'm not going to get into that debate. But anyway, I don't think he kind of saw himself as an engineer and not really, you know, he kind of saw the nursey side. He kind of read all the stuff that he knew, and in his mind, he was kind of worried, you know. But I don't see myself as a sick person. But anyway, I was always told it's not normal. You know, imaginary friends should be gone, or they should be in your head. Which is a good job. I'm not schizophrenic, or I never had any schizophrenic episodes. But I mean, there was a few times I thought my imaginary friends had, you know, had done something, but that was a while ago, and I was young. But going back to, you know, I was always told. You know, first I was told it's babyish, then it's not normal. You should stop doing this now. All this kind of thing. So I had to hold it in like a girl holds her problems in about her periods. You know, about her monthlies. I could, when I was round at my dad's, I couldn't talk to myself. I couldn't have the imaginary friends. Like I couldn't even mention them. So it's kind of holding that world in. It's like, God, it's like a woman with her problems. So, the only way I let it all out really was, it's like, imagine for a man, right? Just imagine you're told that you're not allowed to, like, imagine you're locked in a room, or well, not locked in a room. I won't use that analogy, but just imagine you're told that you are not allowed to masturbate. You know, could you imagine? You hold all that in, and when I went to college, when I went to Henshaw's College, I held a lot of my imagination in, and it's not good. It's not good, and it is good. We'll come to why it's not good.
Chat options button.
Do.
Cancel button.
No.
Chat up. Filter. Filters button.
Do. Right, what filter do we want?
Chat up. Live. Celebrate.
You want this one?
Selected. Celebrate.
Is that? Come on. I don't have a Snapchat one. Hang. Let's try this one. Snapchat filter. Oh, the documentary one, which I used in one of my vlogs. I was playing around with filters. That's not on. This one. But let me try and find a. Hang on a minute. Let me just.
Switch camera. Button. Chat options. Button.
I can't see any chat. How bad's that?
Normal. Chat options. Button. Top chat. Some messages. Top chat. Live chat. None. Hide all chat. Cancel. Button. None. Live chat. All messages are visible. Button.
Hey. There we go. Do you like that filter? Someone say, do you like the filter?
Live.
One?
One watching now. 0 likes. One watching now. Lip. One watching.
Right, I don't know what you meant by a Snapchat filter.
Normal. Live. Celebrate. Celebrate. Selected. Footwork. Selected. Footwork. Celebrate. Live. Normal. Switch cap. Normal. Celebrate. Live. Live. Celebrate. Selected. Celebrate.
This is a bit wacky, this filter. Is that filter okay? Is that filter good? Can you see the filter? Do.
Switch camera. Button. Chat options. Button. Chat viewing options. Heading. Top chat. Live chat. All messages are visible. Selected. Button. None. Hide all chat. Cancel. Button. None. Live chat. All messages are visible. Selected. Button. Finish. Button.
Someone speak to me. Thing is, I don't even know what filter I'm using. There's a good thing. He's probably going to rant now. That's not the right filter. Damn you. Of the filters coming to kill you. Oh dear. The gods of the filters. The gods of the filters. The gods of the filters. That should be a new movie, shouldn't it? The gods of the filters. Anyway, what was I talking about? Imaginary friends. So yeah, as I was saying, it's very you know, like women can hold things in or whatever, but I can't see any messages. This is bad. Talk to me, viewer. Talk to me, viewer. Da 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 dee da 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 do da 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 do da 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 do. I wonder how you found me. I wonder if it's you through PewDiePie's videos. That'd be quite amazing. Massive YouTuber. Do I like PewDiePie? Someone was asking me that the other day. I like the video that got him banned. I'm not going to talk about that video. So yeah, I want to talk about all my imaginary projects now. First of all is the one where I'm doing stuff with AI. If you don't know what AI is, it's artificial intelligence. And for that, I'm having to learn to do all the project briefs. I'm a project manager, but I have to know a little bit of code. So I can send the people that I'm doing the projects the code in the project briefs. So yeah, I've got to send them a full starter script. Second is my design company, which I have. Hello.
Come on, man, turn on that Snapchat filter.
Hello, Planet Sim. Sorry, I didn't see your name, but now I seen your name, Planet Sim. Planet Sim. I like the name Planet Sim. Do you him? I'll check it out. Check your channel. Are you a gamer? Are you a gamer? I like gamers. I like gamers. I love gamers. Really, really do. I love gamers, but a true gaming person than a nowadays gaming person because I see the thing is with nowadays games, right? I'm gonna just say this little offside rant, right? What I what I love about what I hate about nowadays games is right is it's like watching a movie. Seriously. I mean, the last good game that was sort of not movie, but sort of more of a good game was the first two Assassin's Creed games. Now, I'm not a lover of Assassin's Creed, but the music, the soundtrack to Assassin's Creed was, wow, so ahead of its time. But seriously, I don't really, I love the music.
Planet Sim. Come on, man, turn on that Snapchat filter.
The gods of the connection hate me forever. What was I saying about gaming? Yeah. But yeah, the last computer. See, I don't game these days because I do more sort of music stuff. I have a DSi and I still play that to death. But I use the DSi for different things, more creative stuff. But that is the last good console I've ever played. No, tell a lie. The last good console I played was the PSP. And it was a friend's, and we played Manhunt 2 because we had a thing for things that were banned, right? And I said, oh, I told him about Manhunt 2, and I said, you'll never find it ever. Anyway, he managed to find it. But I was disappointed when I played it because I thought the punches would sound a lot more brutal and stuff. And, it just sounds like the hits and the images look terrible. Yeah. And the voice acting in it's very good. But yeah, I quite like a bit of Manhunt. Oh, and
Planet Sim. Come on, man, turn on that Snapchat filter.
oh,
Planet Sim. Come on, man, turn on that Snapchat filter.
you are gonna have to excuse me. The signal is the gods of signal just keep killing me with the signal. Yeah, but seriously, they were two good games. My favorite computer game, like of all time, has got to be Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm visually impaired, right? I'm visually impaired, and my favorite game used to be Tekken, and then I realized that just everybody I knew knows Tekken, and I thought, oh gosh, I've got to go back to Sonic. Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, another two of my favorite games as well. Super Hang-On. Got a story about Super Hang-On. I had a three-wheeler bike, right? A trike it was, and I used to play on this trike at the caravan park, and I started playing Super Hang-On, and that got me into just going. So obviously, when it was a rainy day and you couldn't go on your trike, you'd get Super Hang-On. That was real. It was a good game. I think it taught the people how to make Gran Turismo, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I stopped playing games because I don't know. My games collections just started shedding dust. my sister keeps promising me to that she'll get the Mega Drive out every time I go around, but it's never the case. So my oh yeah, let's play a bit of Hang On never happens. And these emulators, I absolutely hate them. I downloaded Golden Axe for the iPhone, and it was terrible. There was too many ads, and it's just, oh, yeah. So maybe one day I'll get a Sega Mega Drive. Oh, gotta sort this. Somebody's asked me in my ages ago, what's all this copyright infringement? A lot of web design companies are kind of cool with, if you're discussing CyberCons, I still can't discuss the court case, but I can answer the question. What's happened is basically it was all to do with an idea, and the idea was unauthorized. I can't talk about it because we're getting into legal conversations. But yeah, someone asked me as well, you know, about the Braille note. They've seen me using it. They said, the game Adventure, how far have you gotten it? Well, there's the question, right? I've asked a few retro gamers how to play Adventure, and they've told me, what is it? Go north, go west. I've done it, everything. They must have remade the version on the Braille note because I can't go anywhere. So, oh, it's terrible. I think they made the text adventures slightly harder because, you know, text adventure games is really remote. I'd like to see a console where text adventures are actually brought to it, but either text adventure games or but there's a lot of blind video games. Loads of them. And there's thousands of blind video game developers that are actually... Sorry, there's a lot of blind video gamers that are becoming video games developers. Am I one? No. But I have heard there are a few blind video game developers that are making stuff for Xbox. Unfortunately, though, they're probably only gonna go on the campaign. They're not gonna go as a massive thing. But I allegedly heard there was a guy who worked for, was it Nintendo? Was it Nintendo? Oh, who was one of the major developers? Yeah, Nintendo. Who was totally blind. And he wanted to have games accessible for everybody. There was an audio described game that was that's come out on the C64. It's quite recent. I spoke to someone who, because I'm a big C64. I don't own a C64, but I love the retro C64 thing. And I was talking to, like blind video game consoles. The C64 would be a great platform to make video games for blind people, because I think that's what would bring the C64 back, because it had that magic voice chip. Which and I think, apparently I was told the voice from Magic Voice we used for Dolphin's HAL, I believe. And I heard something alleged about Magic Voice, but I'm not gonna say about it, because I'm not sure if it's true or not. But the eloquence voice that was used for Jaws, that was going to be used on Amiga's speech programs, but the people they have the rights for it, so they had to use something else. I know one of the old voiceover settings was from the Amiga OS.
Close button. YouTube. Finish button.
I'm not overloading this power source ever again. I've already overloaded it once today, folks. It's this charger, it's just... Yeah, the Python language, it's pretty cool. It's like quote print, whatever. So I'm going to make one of my projects programming script. I'm going to do the whole thing on the Braille note, and then just... I don't know how I could... You just make a plain Braille text file. And write your program script, and you're good to go. I would start with something basic to just get yourself familiar with the Hello World, which is to test the environment. It's like dipping your toe in the water.
Line. Normal. Switch camera button. 0. 0 watching now. 0 likes. Finish.
That'd be a good place to end the stream, I think.
Finish button. Finish. Alert. Are you sure that you want to stop streaming? Head. Cancel. Button.